Hey, what's going on YouTube? A Delicious Mango here. It is Season 22 Patch Notes Day. I can show you right now Apex Legends Shockwave patch notes. They have just now released. In this video, I'm going to read through the entire thing. I'm going to break down what's really important. This is a great video to listen to if you're driving, if you're working. This is going to be your best overview of all the patch notes that we have officially for Season 22, which drops tomorrow at about 26 hours, 25 hours or so from this recording. So I'm really excited to dive into it. Let's not waste any time. All the timestamps will be available in the bottom of the video, so if you want to jump to the part you're most interested in, it'll be available. And if you guys find this type of video useful, please do consider subscribing to the channel. I always appreciate it. And we'll break down more in depth over on my Twitch channel. Links at the top of the description. Let's go ahead and get into it. New energy, more action. Grab the squad because the games have a whole new energy. Drop back into the fight with revivals, feel your power surge with akimbo, use 2 new battle sense features to narrow in on your enemies in the heat of the fight, and more updates that make the Outlands legendary for all. Hone your skills in Bot Royale and hit new heights in E District, your very own neon playground. Customize stat trackers to suit your needs or your ships, and you'll automatically unlock 3 new ones for logging in this season. Time to tap in, legend. So this is our intro. We have first, of course, the new map, which is E District. It looks beautiful. It's a nighttime urban setting with a lot of lights, neon, everything. It's a great idea for a map. So here we are. This map was designed to offer players a fresh and innovative experience. While it retains the core elements that define a great Apex map, we also push the boundaries by incorporating numerous buildings, emphasizing verticality, and creating varied landscapes. These changes ensure some of the most diverse fights and end ring locations all across the map. Read the full breakdown of this latest map addition in our Welcome to E District blog here. That blog is a couple days old, but the long story short is it breaks down all the different POIs. I can link that in the top of the description as well if you'd like to read it. But we're going to move down to the Shockwave map rotation. The following maps will be available in pubs and ranked for the first half of the season. We've got Broken Moon, E District, and Stormpoint. So our new map, plus the 2 maps that have received updates, the most recently Broken Moon and Stormpoint. As an introduction to our newest map, E District will be the dedicated featured map for a limited time. Let the energy of the neon lights energize your squad with each pub match for the first week and each ranked match for the first 72 hours of the season. So what does that mean? The first 3 days of the ranked playlist will be all E District. The first week of the pubs playlist will be all E District. So you're not going to be playing through any more maps. I believe after that, it usually follows the system that they lay out in the patch notes. So it should go E District, Stormpoint, and then Broken Moon. So that'll be your rotation from there on out. It'll be E District into Stormpoint into Broken Moon for at least the first half of Season 22. Controller and Recon class perks. We have some class perk changes for Legends. I'm excited about that. I think the class perk system is good, and it's a nice way to balance some characters in a new and refreshing way. And Controller and Recon classes did need a bit of a buff, so let's read into it. This season, we're beginning a much more intentional push on what classes mean to the core of the game by bringing new tactical class passives to the Controller and Recon classes. Both will continue to bring strategic depth to their squad via interactions with survey beacons and ring consoles, but they'll now have new intrinsic power that better supports their role on the team. Starting with the Controller class, new class perk, Zone Overcharge. Controller Legends now have an extra shield capacity when playing in Zone. The Zone automatically grants an overcharge of 25 HP shield capacity. This capacity is permanent while the player remains in the zone, the white ring area on the map, so the safe area of the zone. Overcharge is lost when leaving the zone after a 5-second delay. Overcharge can be healed with cells, batteries, and abilities while in the zone. If a player enters the zone at full shields, the overcharge pip will fill automatically. If a player acquires a shield core that overcharges beyond this extra zone capacity, that additional overcharge will still drain normally, but the zone overcharge will remain. Zone overcharge will never enhance legend armor beyond maximum red capacity. So the long story short of this is that Controller Legends are going to have 25 extra shield when they are in the game, but only up to red shield. So if you have a white shield and you are in the safe area of the zone inside the white ring, your shield might as well be blue. It's going to have 75 health instead of 50. But if you have a red shield and you're in the zone, that means you have 125 shield. It's not going to add an extra 25 and be 150 shield. So it does cap out at red shield, but that does mean that your white, blue, and purple shields are stronger than normal people's if you are a controller legend inside that next safe area of the ring. That's a big buff, honestly. I mean, you talk about going and fight someone with a shield advantage. You think, oh, I have purple, they have blue, let's go fight them. That's basically going to be standard for any controller legend, which is Catalyst, Rampart, Wattson, or Caustic, playing in the zone. That's big. That makes them more aggressive in zone, which is a really interesting idea. I'm excited to see how this goes. I don't think it'll be overpowered, but I do know that Caustic, with that extra shield and fortified, is going to be a menace in some of these E-District buildings. New quality of life for controller legends, remote pickup. Legends can now remotely pick up their undamaged tacticals by looking back at them and pressing a button. Additionally, if a player abandons the area, they will be prompted to recover all possible objects. Remotely recovering these objects will restore the tactical charge. That just means that if you throw a caustic barrel on one end of a building and run away to the other one and want to pick it back up, you don't have to run back to your barrel physically and pick it up and then run to the other side again and throw it down. You can look remotely and pick it up. This will be great for legends that throw down a lot of new stuff like Caustic and really Wattson. Wattson players oftentimes have a lot of fence nodes down, up to 12. So this will be great for Wattson characters or Wattson enjoyers. But I think it'll be decent for maybe Catalyst players that like to throw their Qs a long way. But really, I think Caustic and Wattson are the big enjoyers of this quality of life change. This is good. They should be rewarded for this. I don't think that there was really any sense in making them physically run to pick up their nodes. So I'm excited about that. So the controller players get a good buff and a good quality of life change. On to the Recon class. New class perk, Threat Vision. Recon legends now gain threat vision when aiming down sights. Threat vision will highlight enemies that the character has line of sight to whenever using ADS, aim down sights. This ability will not work through walls or smoke, and it's limited in range by the type of scope or zoom range of an ability. So what does this mean? If you remember, Bloodhound's ultimate has threat vision. It means that characters are highlighted red. So simply whenever you are looking at somebody that's in your line of sight and aiming down sight, they will have a red highlight around them. So imagine you are looking down the sight with your flat line with your 2x on it. When you aim at someone, there's going to be a little bit of a red highlight around them. This should help recon characters specifically when there's a lot of explosions or things going off like that. Like say there's a Bangalore ult or a Gibraltar bombardment. You'll be able to see through that a little bit better. Or if someone on World's Edge we know is shooting the snow and the snow particles are flying up in the air. If you're a recon legend, you'll be able to see them a little bit better as long as you're actually aimed down sight and zooming in on them. It won't help through smoke or walls, which is very important, and it has limited range by the type of scope or zoom. So you'll see further if you have a 3x versus if you have a 1x. Survey beacons, they're faster to use by about 3 seconds. It was 7.5 seconds to use a survey beacon. Now it's only 3 seconds. There's a shortened range of 500 meters. It was scanning the entire map. Now it's going to be a 500-meter radius around that survey beacon. No longer randomly distributed, and all will now be turned on with every map. So what does this mean? Right now, there's a random chance that a survey beacon will spawn in a certain area. Not anymore. Now there are going to be tons of survey beacons all over the map. Any place there can be a survey beacon, there will be a survey beacon. So a lot more populated on each map. And scanning these survey beacons now grants 75 evo. It was 200. This makes sense if there's going to be double or triple the amount of beacons to lower that evo cash price a little bit. Now it pulses 3 times over 15 seconds, with each pulse taking a snapshot of enemies in range for 5 seconds. Now releases a large in-world scan wave that players can spot to identify and activate a beacon. Enemies no longer receive a scan message. Right now, if you get scanned by a survey beacon, it pops up on the top of your screen. Now there will be a pulse, maybe similar to a Bloodhound scan, that you'll be able to see and you'll be able to pinpoint, okay, where's that pulse coming from? That's the survey beacon that was scanned. Enemies scanned will display along the edges of the minimap, even if not in. So the minimap up at the top of your screen, if you open your map, like press the back button or the M button, you'll see everyone on the map. But on the minimap, it'll still show kind of on the edges until you actually open your map and decide exactly where they are, find them. So that way, you can still see there are people on your minimap without having to open the full screen map page. Here's a dev note. Recon legends are defined as legends who are about enemy intel and tracking, which is a core part of each player's play pattern. But to date, the only class benefit was something players had to seek out via survey beacons. We're ratcheting up the scouting role for Recon Legends this season and putting class power directly into their hands. With ADS Threat Vision, these characters are now adept at spotting distant targets for their team and now innately do something that no other class can. This is good. Now, technically, really, the only class that could scan these survey beacons was Recon Legends and Pathfinder. So I guess they didn't like that Pathfinder had something Recon Legends had. So now Recon Legends truly do have their own unique skill. I'm a little bit nervous about this. I hope it's not too overpowered. We'll have to see how obvious that red threat vision is, but maybe this will make Recon Legends even more viable than they already are. An update to stat trackers. We've made a huge quality of life upgrade to stat trackers and are separating out the stat and the art. You'll now be able to set these on your legend banner cards separately. The art on your trackers has also been made universal, which means they can be applied to any legend banner card. We wanted to give players more ways to customize their banner cards and let you show off more than just one legend there. It's also a great way to show off your legend chips. Log in at any point during Shockwave to automatically unlock 3 new stat trackers to add to your mix and match collection. What does this mean? So if you're a Loba player and you're sick and tired of the fact that the Loba customized trackers have wins as the top tracker instead of kills like all the other ones, you can flip that if you want. Or let's say you're a Wraith player, but you want to show off your Octane kills, you can do that as well. You can play Wraith and put Octane custom trackers on your Battle Pass. This is just a win overall. It's just general, nice customization that I feel like this game should have, and I'm glad they're finally doing it. The Shockwave Battle Pass. For a summary of the updated Battle Pass offerings, please check out our dedicated blog and infographic here. We've already seen all this. If you guys have kept an eye out, I'm going to go ahead and skip this part just because the Battle Pass news is nothing new. It's a new system of the Battle Pass, one every split, yada, yada, yada. You guys have probably heard all about it by now, and it is quite interesting. You can see some of the theme skins, definitely a neon theme in this picture. I do love the idea of this being the theme. It's almost like that Damascus camo from Call of Duty, but more neon-ified. It looks great. I love it. I'm excited. Patch notes. This is what you came to see. This is what you want. The balance updates. Care package. EVA 8 returns to the floor. The blast pattern size has been slightly increased to make it a little bit less accurate. Damage was increased from 7 to 6. The fire rate was decreased. Now it takes a boosted loader hop up. So 4 shots remaining activate the boosted loader hop up. And then quick reload overflows the magazine by 2. So if you reload with boosted loader, it'll go up to 10 shots. Slight increase to recoil as well. What they're not mentioning here, it says damage increased to 7 was 6. That sounds like a buff, but they've taken the hammer points off the EVA 8. In the current care package version of the EVA, it has hammer points built in. That will no longer be the case. So now it's just going to be the normal EVA 8 with 7 damage per pellet. R99 will enter the care package in its stead. ADS strafe speed has been increased, improved recoil, new feature damage fall off, damage increased to 14 at close range, and damage falls off to 10 at 11 plus meters. I would like to point out that the R99 was the most popular gun in the meta when it had 12 damage. So this care package version will have 14 damage. This is going to be a monster. It's going to be absolutely one-clipping people like crazy, and I think the R99 is going to be very worth picking up. There's also no movement penalty when equipped, and Evo cache spawn rate in the first wave is increased to 100%, so you can go find that Evo cache immediately upon those first care packages being dropped, and if you find an R99 in that second or third spawn wave of care packages, you're going to find an absolute behemoth in your hands. Gold weapon rotation. They're going to be Mozambique Akimbo, P2020 Akimbo, Gold R301, Gold Rampage, and Gold Sentinel. So 2 Akimbo weapons you'll be able to find in care packages, which I find very interesting. I guess you'll be able to go and pick up one weapon from the care package, and will you get one Mozambique and then pick up another? Or will you automatically pick up the Akimbo version? Can you drop it if you just want one? I'm not certain, but we'll see. It's very, very interesting to have Akimbo weapons as gold weapons that could drop in care packages. Gameplay updates, aim assist. Console crossplay into PC lobbies, aim assist strength reduced 18%. A lot of people have been saying online it goes from 0.4 to 0.3. You may have heard it that way. Very, very similar. Console performance mode crossplay into PC lobbies, aim assist strength reduced 22%. And controller on PC, aim assist strength reduced by 25%. So that's that 0.4 to 0.3 that I just mentioned. Sorry, I mentioned it a little bit too early. Dev note, we value our accessibility as a cross-platform game, but it's equally important for us to monitor that ecosystem. Experiential stories from all types of players tracks with the data we're seeing that it comes to encounter win rate between peripherals. Apex Legends is a competitive shooter, and simply put, aim assist is too strong. Aim assist will never be removed as it's a critical accessibility feature. Console lobbies remain unaffected. This only impacts players on controllers in PC lobbies. This is just because simply, if you look at mathematically and the data points, who's the most accurate, it's controller players up close by a long shot. So this is their effort to try and help mouse and keyboard players out a little bit. Nerf aim assist just a tad. I don't think it's going to be crazy noticeable, but it will have some effect and hopefully even out these two inputs. Aim flinch. I'm very excited about this part. Aim flinch has been removed from all weapons and most abilities. Damage from the ring still incurs aim flinch. All this means when you get shot, your monitor is not going to suffer a 7.2 magnitude earthquake anymore. You're just going to keep aiming at your target. But if you get hit by the ring, your camera will still shake. I think that's good. It's good to have it in the ring where it's affecting directly your health and you shouldn't be in the zone that's taking damage. But I'm glad that now my screen's not going to be shaking like it's friggin' on a waterbed with hydraulics when I get hit by a flatline from 70 meters out. So that's nice. Should be good. Should feel a lot more crisp and clean when fighting other people. I'm excited about this one. Loot bin reset. Starting with Shockwave, all loot bins will close and re-roll their loot with a significantly increased chance at high tier and rare loot at the midway point of the match, which I think is really, really interesting. Bins that were previously opened are going to close and get better loot. We've never had this type of idea before. Bins that have been re-rolled will appear slightly different than ones that have never been opened. After the reset, multiple bins will convert into legendary loot bins that provide smart loot, guaranteeing the contents to be relevant upgrades for a squad. Mythic bins. One mythic bin will spawn into the match with one random care package weapon, gold versions of weapons of those that the squad is running at the time of opening the bin. So for example, if you are carrying a R301 and you open a mythic bin, it will also have a gold R301. Medical supplies and grenades, and a large XP bonus to the squad. Mythic bins are locked and require players to hold interact on them for a significant amount of time to crack them open for their team. They are displayed on the map and the mini-map. This kind of is just a new bin way of creating a loot vault. Think of it as a loot vault that you don't have to find a key for. You just have to sit at the door and knock on the door and let them come in. So that's the way the mythic bins will work. Loot pool, reduce the spawn rate of purple and gold attachments by about 50%. I believe that they are reducing the spawn rate of these really good attachments early, so that way their loot bin closing and reopening system makes more sense. So you'll still have a lot of that good loot once you get to the end game. It just won't necessarily be available right at the start. Reorganization. Death boxes in Loba's black market. Healing items now have their own dedicated row and have been removed from the consumables category, and shield cores have been moved to the top of the gear category. Basically, now you won't have to scroll super far down to look through someone's death box. It should be a little bit more one page for you, depending on how big your icons are. Healing has its own separate row underneath ammo, like it often does. And now gear, shield cores will always be at the top instead of helmets, which I think is very useful because lots of people need to swap shields in the middle of a fight. Traversal, mantling at the same time in the same spot as a teammate no longer forces both players to drop, which is great. I can't count how many times I've had my ankles pulled by my teammates as we're both trying to climb a wall and avoid caustic gas, and we died to it. Battle sense, better ammo awareness and feedback. Critical ammo state will now kick on when a player has 0 relevant ammo in their inventory. On-screen low ammo indicators kick on earlier, allowing players more opportunity to find ammo. And pinging for ammo will now display the ammo icon in the kill feed. When emptying a weapon of all reserve ammo, it will now automatically ping the players in need of ammo. When looking at ammo on the ground, the tooltip now displays compatibility with any of your currently equipped weapons. I don't really know how many of you guys are running out of ammo out there, but I'm going to be honest, if you're running out of ammo, maybe this will help you. I don't know why you're running out of ammo in the first place, though. Just look at your HUD. Enemy health bars. When damaging an enemy, players are now shown the enemy's armor and health state. This health bar is only active for a brief time after dealing damage and then fades away. Health bars, like enemy highlights, require direct line of sight. Enemy highlights. Players will now be highlighted with a red outline, similar to how allies are highlighted with a blue one. This highlight is most prominent at close ranges, and the intensity fades as targets get further away. Enemy highlights require direct line of sight. I keep saying direct line of sight. You can breathe now, Bangalore mains. Yes, so it won't be going through smoke. Both enemy health bars and enemy highlights can be toggled on and off in settings. So I don't think this is as crazy as it sounds. Think of it more so like Overwatch or the finals or maybe X Defiant. There's just a little bit of something to tell you that is an enemy, not your teammate, in case the characters have the same skins. I don't think it's that crazy. It will make it a lot more noticeable, and I think ratting will be a little bit harder with these red highlights, but we'll have to see. Ammo and attachments get a big change. Ammo spawn rates, energy ammo reduced individual spawn rate. Light and heavy ammo slight increase to individual spawn rate. And shotgun and sniper ammo also received an increase in individual spawn rate. All the stacks have changed as well. So light ammo now stacks in sizes of 72. It was 60, and the individual brick size was increased to 24. Was 20. Energy ammo stacks go down to 54. It was 60. And then shotgun ammo actually gets an increase from 16 to 20. Hop-ups. Disruptor rounds have been removed from floor loot. New hop-up gun shield generator. So usable by all LMGs, Spitfire, Rampage, L-Star, and Devotion. When aiming down sights, you automatically deploy a frontal gun shield, which absorbs 40 damage and is recharged 12 seconds after taking damage or breaking. This improves Gibraltar's gun shield. Gun shield increases to 75, and gun shield recharge remains the same as his passive. So imagine this as a Gibraltar gun shield passive for other legends that are just using LMGs. But the gun shield isn't totally useless for Gibraltar. It will increase his passive gun shield that he has on his arm. I'm a little bit nervous about this. If I die to a Revenant in red shield with ult, with an L-Star that never stops shooting with an extra 40 shield, I might lose my mind, but we'll have to see exactly what happens there. That could be a disaster, but it could be really cool for LMG users as well. We'll just have to see. Weapons. Akimbo. Dual wield 2 P2020s or 2 Mozambiques this season by finding and interacting with a second P2020 or Mozambique to automatically enter Akimbo mode. Aiming tightens the hipfire spread instead of looking down sights. Attachments are mirrored to the second weapon. Both the P2020 and Mozambique are automatic in Akimbo. There's an increased rate of fire, longer reload times, the magazine size is doubled, and optics are disabled. You can toggle select fire to holster your second weapon and re-enable your optic, which is actually really cool. I love that. LMGs. All LMGs now benefit from the reverse hipfire mechanic found on the care package Devotion. So just imagine as you hipfire for longer, it'll get more accurate, just like the care package does now. Alternator gets some changes. Its base magazine stays at 19 bullets, but it's increased in white, blue, and purple by 1 bullet apiece, from 22 to 23 on white, 25 to 26 bullets on blue, and purple and gold gets an increase as well from 27 to 28. The car also gets a 1 bullet upgrade when it has extended mags, 1 each for white, blue, and purple. Devotion in the care package, empty reload speed decreased and gun shield generator added. So now the Devotion does have the gun shield generator like some of the other ones. You must aim down sight to use it, but it takes longer to reload. Flatline actually gets a slight magazine nerf. Now it has 1 less bullet in each of its magazine sizes, including at base. The Havoc hipfire accuracy was significantly reduced. Thank God. We've needed that for a long time. The Hemlock burst delay slightly increased, so the time between bursts will be a little bit longer. Damage was reduced to 19. It was 20, so it gets a 1 damage nerf, and then its magazine size reduction also, white and blue gets a 1 burst reduction. So now white magazine will have 21 bullets instead of 24. Purple and gold though remains unchanged at 30 total bullets. P2020 single, it gets a damage increase to 21 damage. It was 18. The hammer point damage decreased to 23. It was 27. So a lot higher base damage, a lot worse hammer point damage. It also gets increases in all of its magazine changes. The Mozambique hammer point damage for a full blast is reduced to 54. But the rate of fire has been significantly increased. So the hammer points are going to do a little bit less damage on each burst, but they're going to be shooting a lot faster at base. Shotgun bolt rate of fire multiplier decreased at all levels, but it doesn't really matter because the base weapon will fire a lot quicker. So you should experience a faster fire rate on the Mozambique with all levels of shotgun bolt. The Mastiff damage increased to 15 damage per pellet. It was 11. The pellet count has been reduced to 6. It was 8. So now, if you do the math, it was 88 damage for a 1 full hit of the Mastiff. Now, there's only 6 pellets, but because it's 15 damage per pellet, it'll be 90 damage. So slight buff to the Mastiff. Now, every time you hit 1 bullet, you're not going to hit for 8. You're going to hit, or 11. You're going to hit for 15. So it's a bit better. Honestly, I think this is a good idea. You can see the spray pattern here as well. Less pellets, but it's still a horizontal spray pattern. The Peacekeeper also gets damage increased to pellet. Imagine the pellet count and the damage per pellet has been flip-flopped. So the damage was increased to 11. It was 9. But the pellet count has been reduced to 9. It was 11. So the Peacekeeper will still hit for exactly the same amount of damage, 99. It's just reversed now. So there's slightly less pellets. They did change the blast pattern. So the original Peacekeeper blast pattern was a star. Now it's more so like a V with 2 dots in the middle. So imagine it's much more vertical. And this will be good because you're more likely to get a better spread of the pellets across the head or the shoulders where your damage will be better than the legs. R301 also gets a buff to its magazine size. It will go up by 3 bullets at each magazine level, including base. So finally, the R301, which has needed some love for a while, it doesn't get a damage buff, but it does get a magazine buff, which I'm thrilled about. RE45, same story, more ammo in every single section of the magazines, whether it's base all the way up to white, blue, and purple. Rampage, increased projectile size while revved up. So the Rampage bullets will literally get bigger, kind of like the Sentinel does when you load it up with a thermite. And now we get to the legends. New class perks and adjustments. Controller legends class perk. Zone overcharge. Extra shield capacity when playing in zone. Quality of life remote pickup. We both know these things already. Recon legends as well. They got their stuff. The class perk threat vision and survey beacons have been changed. But let's get into these specifics. Alters Void Nexus. Channel time when knocked decreased to 2 seconds. So you will travel a little bit quicker in the channel in the Void Nexus. It was 3 seconds. Now it's faster. Chase portal duration decreased 8 seconds. Was 10. Chase portal opening delay increased to 8 seconds. Was 6. Increased travel speed to Void Nexus by about 40%, was 1,800. I don't really know what that exactly means. Should just mean you're going faster from activating your portal to actually getting to the other side. And then the ult cooldown was reduced to 3 minutes. When knocked, you can travel to a friendly Void Nexus without looking at it by pressing the character action. So now you don't have to look at the Void Nexus when you're knocked. You can just press the button automatically. This is all a big buff for the Void Nexus. So the Void Nexus just got nothing but buffs. Alters Ultimate has gotten much better. They have removed the option to press character action to destroy your own Void Nexus. I don't know why that was really ever a thing in the first place. Because why would you ever want to destroy it? It does nothing for you. So now you can't destroy your own Void Nexus. Honestly, I think it's a good change. People were accidentally pressing it or pressing it thinking it would do something for them and it never did. She does have a new perk. Ult cooldown has been removed from her level 2 perks and now she has Ringmaster so she can scan ring consoles. Ballistic also gets a change. His lock-on time has been decreased for the Whistler from 0.3 seconds to 0.1. What does this really mean? Basically just means you can tap the tactical button and it'll lock on right away. You don't have to hold and wait for the icon to lock on. It's going to lock on pretty much immediately. You can probably start tap firing the Ballistic Whistler and you'll be good to go. Crypto Surveillance Drone. Cooldown increased to 30 seconds. It was 40, so he'll get his drone back faster if it breaks. Upgrades. New. It's called Off the Grid. Crypto becomes cloaked when in drone. While hidden from sight, Crypto's cloaking will still emit a close-range cloaking sound to suss his location, and ability scans will still reveal his location. Threat vision-related skills will not reveal Crypto. Improved satellite imagery. Ult now scans anyone it hits for 4 seconds and will track through walls only after the ult. And quick ping removed. Improved handling now that integrated into the base kit. Crypto's upgrades were looking pretty one-sided, so we've made some changes at both tiers to rival the dominant choices with new options that should introduce some interesting gameplay potential. Crypto's finally going off the grid, which should make players feel more safe when in the drone. Long story short, I'm thrilled that now there's going to be a perk where Crypto can be invisible. This seems like a really, really good thing. No one wanted to pick the level 2 perk to make Crypto's drone handling better. Now they've just made that a base part of his drone, and he can go invisible now when in his drone if he chooses that perk. It's fantastic. I love it. It should make for some really, really interesting plays, and I know crypto drone players, crypto enjoyers are going to be thrilled. Lifeline upgrade, gold plated, replaced gold Evo cache with a battery. So now you can't call down a Lifeline care package and get an Evo cache. It's just a battery now, just a pure nerf to Lifeline in that regard. Rampart Sheila, ammo drains from pip charge with use. Maximum number of placed turrets allowed now is 1. Used to be able to place a few. You need 1 pip of ultimate charge to draw or place Sheila. So imagine kind of like a Vantage style. You can pull out Sheila even if it's not fully charged. I think this is good. It now uses an ammo style ultimate model, much like that Vantage ultimate sniper. I think this is great. Finally, Sheila players or Sheila enjoyers can pull out the weapon a lot sooner, and Rampart mains are going to be able to not wait a full cooldown to pull out Sheila. Say you've got 30 bullets, you'll be able to just rip out Sheila and let her rip. I'm excited about that. Rampart players, you should be pretty happy. Seer, focus of attention. The health bars persist for the duration of the silence, so now you'll be able to see an opponent's health for a full 10 seconds. Heartbeat sensor, the passive mood speed has been increased to weapon sprint speed, so you'll run a little bit faster with this passive, and the passive is a little bit more quiet now. His upgrades, focus scan has been removed, and new split focus gained an additional tactical charge. So now you could have 2 tactical charges. Seer just got buffed. There's no other way to mention it. Seer got buffed. This is a Seer buff, and Seer players, oh my gosh, you might be back. You might be back. I don't know. His ultimate isn't as insane as it once was, but Seer players are going to be thrilled. Vantage Echo relocation no longer requires LOS to Echo to launch. This is really, really cool. So now, if you are looking ahead and Echo is behind you, you can just use your tactical and it'll jump backwards. I think this is great. It's very, very cool. It opens up a lot more opportunities for someone to be using Echo while shooting someone else. You don't have to turn and look up at the sky and hope you can find your bat to jump in the air. This is great. I love that. Sniper's Mark, the second shot multiplier is now 2.5%, or 2.5 times. It was 2. And she can hit reload when in ult to use an ult excel. So if you want to reload your Vantage Sniper, you will use an ult excel. It's just a nice quality of life feature. Spotter's Lens, new range tracking. Waypoint on ping within passive range will track an enemy for 10 seconds. It will not show within 100 meters for each ally individually. Recon info added to all optics. So 1 times you now are able to look at someone with a 1x sight and be able to see their shields. Expanded passive scanning screen area to be much more consistent. This was just because sometimes you would be looking at her opponents. She would look at her opponents with just the no weapon out zoom that she has, her passive, and it wouldn't show people unless you were looking directly at them. So now should be a little bit better. Wattson upgrades. Power pylon now regenerates shield charge. Split current has been removed and emergency power has been added, which increases the shield regenerate of interception pylon. So she now has these 2 options as perks in her perk upgrade selection when she gets purple shields. She still has power pylon. It doubles your ultimate HP and your ultimate shield generator recharges, which means that you can basically infinitely recharge shields as long as you give it a little bit of time. Or emergency power, it doubles the ult shield generator rate and capacity. So that just means that while it is a limited amount of time, it'll recharge your shields much, much quicker, which I think is really, really cool. So I like that. It'll recharge your shields faster and it'll have a little bit more of a capacity, but you can still choose power pylon and it'll have a regenerating shield charge effect, which I think is lovely. Maps we've already talked about. Pubs and ranked rotation is Broken Moon, E-District, and Storm Point, but we're starting on E-District. E-District, 17 POIs. We've talked about it a little bit before. There is a new mode, Bot Battle Royale. It's a new mode for Apex's new and learning players. Imagine, the training grounds for Halo. You can jump into a bot lobby and play against pure bots. I don't know if you can load in with your own team or not, but I think this is great. So there's going to be some legends added as bots like Bangalore, Bloodhound, Conduit, Fuse, Gibraltar, Lifeline, Octane, Seer, Vantage, Wraith. So you can play against bots if you're new or if you want to warm up. This could be a great way to do it. The Revival LTM, featuring its new respawn mechanic. If you've played Fortnite Reloaded or Warzone Resurgence, this should be very similar to you. Respawn into a skydive near your teammates as long as one teammate is still alive. If all players die, the team is eliminated. Respawn timers. Respawn timers increase with each passing round. Respawn timers for your squad increase each time a squad mate dies. And respawn timers decrease when squad members deal damage, earn knockdowns, earn kills, or execute enemies. So you don't have to go and find banners and plug them into a respawn beacon anymore. As long as one of your teammates is alive, given some time, you will respawn. In Trios Revival, the respawning will end after round 5. And in Straight Shot Revival, the respawning will end after round 4. Straight Shot Revival does start August 20th. This will be about 2 weeks after the season launches. So if you want Straight Shot version of Revival, you'll have to wait 2 weeks. But don't worry, this Revival mode will still be in base Trios. Mixtape. Akimbo weapons were added into all the mixtape loadouts in Gun Run. R9 moves out of all loadouts and has been replaced with Akimbo, Mozambiques, or P20s. Your mixtape map rotations are listed below, but there is a lot of them, so I'm not going to read through all of them. I'll just slowly scroll so you can see some of it. But it is essentially a change every week of the season, and you can already see every single one throughout this whole season. At some point, there will be an LTM and mixtape, which is Akimbo and LMG only loadouts, which should be pretty fun. I'm actually kind of looking forward to playing that one. And then we have a new player experience. So for new accounts created after the launch of Shockwave, there will be some welcome challenges to help you progress through a welcome pass. And you can complete these in BR or Bot Royale or Mixtape. Unique set of challenges designed around learning foundational skills and learning the games. And the welcome challenges do not refresh. Ranked. This is what we are quite interested in here. We will implement a brand new reset rule at the start of the new season. New reset rules. No RP reset for Rookie. Bronze 4 to Platinum 4 will reset to Bronze. Platinum 3 resets to Bronze 3. Platinum 2 resets to Bronze 2. Platinum 1 resets to Bronze 1. So you're going down, imagine, a few tiers, but you're staying in the same division. So Platinum will go to Bronze, but if you're in 1, you'll stay in 1. Same system here with Diamond. Diamond 4 sets to Silver 4, all the way up to Diamond 1, resetting to Silver 1, etc. You can do the math. Masters and above will reset to Gold 4, 5,650 RP, with a plus 250 demotion protection. So if you hit Master or Apex Predator, you'll be starting at Gold 4 tomorrow. Special cases. New players complete onboarding and above level 20 will start at Rookie 4 level 1, and then returning players who didn't play at all last season will have their starting RP threshold for Bronze 4 at 1,000 points. Ranked Rumble. Ranked Rumble returns September 13th through 17th, 2024, with a new best of 10 matches format and free rewards. There's currently one going on right now, but it's got some bugs. There's no re-entry mechanic in the new one, but honestly, I don't really know how this is going to work because every time they've done a Rumble so far, it's been broken. So I'm not going to stress exactly how it works. We'll just have to see what happens when it happens. World systems, they've improved the end ring generation system, hopefully so there's just not as many rings ending in unplayable areas like big mountains or rocks. And then there's a few bug fixes. I will scroll through here. A lot of this is things like disconnects, firing range problems, mythic weapons being taken away, death boxes, some simple bugs with like Altars Ultimate, Bangalore smoke highlights, Catalyst ultimates being really funky. A few Nessies will now bounce in the firing range instead of not bouncing. And then some optimized performance things for console, for PC DirectX ports, and things like that. And that, after 36 minutes, is every single thing in these patch notes. If you watched to the end, I'm really, really grateful. This was a long video. I hope it answered everything you need to know. I appreciate you all so much for watching. Again, the timestamp should be down below. Hopefully they are specific enough to help you find what you need. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy. I will see you in season 22 tomorrow on this channel, and of course over on my Twitch as well. I will see you guys then. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one.